Okay.
Yeah, this one.
All right. Thank you so much. Wisdom, we have some messages.
Okay, we would start off from where we can. And this one says, my best goalkeeper is Vincent Enyama. That's a Sefi from mile 3. Nigeria's all-time best goalkeeper is Peter Rufai. Joshua from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon, sports crew. My name is Adi from Mboba. I will take Vincent Enyama. This one says, did Folorusho play for the Super Eagles from Timor? Folorusho what? This one says, my name is Azubike. The all-time best goalkeeper in Nigeria for me is
Vincent Enyama. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Today's Sports Live.
Yeah, good afternoon, Victor. How are you doing?
I'm very fine.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That should be Albert.
Yes, the truth is, Victor, when you go and check the ranking of 1994 in the World Cup, and you know that there's no goalkeeper has ever achieved that ranking that Rufai has ever achieved. No Nigerian goalkeeper in history. Go and check. It was sometime among the best keepers in the world.
Okay, so you give Peter Rufai?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Albert. Hello, good afternoon. Sorry, we lost that call. Wisdom, back to the phone lines.
Messages, you mean a lot on this one, but this one says, Peter Rufai, all-time best, Sunshine from Uyigbo. Vincent Enyama, all the way. This one says, good afternoon, guys. I am Chima Iroka from Afara Ichi. My best goalkeeper ever is Vincent Enyama. Thanks. This one says, Akpe is the only consistent goalkeeper. I think he should be our number one for all. Peter Rufai was a flop in France 98 World Cup. Vincent Enyama is the best keeper of all time. That's coming from Jessica. This one says, I give it to Joseph Dosu, who won Olympics, who gave Nigeria face in world football. I'm free is my name. This one says, Maxwell. That's Maxwell from Igbelu. I give it to Vincent Enyama. Good afternoon, guys. What's the name of the second Okala? Okala Junior. It should be Patrick Okala is talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, Patrick Okala.
I would prefer Theophilus Afeluhai as Nigeria number one goalkeeper. All he needs is exposure, confidence, pep talks. That's coming in from Tony. My greatest shot stopper of all time in Nigeria is Vincent Enyama, seconded by Aji Boy. That's Imo Joseph from Eneka. This one says, good afternoon, sports crew. My name is Glenn Kim from Alo. For me, the best is Vincent Enyama. Dear sports presenters, Enyama stands out as the best goalkeeper Nigerian has produced. His performance is outstanding. That should be Sonny Michael. This one says, I saw Peter Rufai. I saw Enyama. Peter Rufai is the best. That's coming in from Fred. This one says, for me, Enyama has been the best Nigerian goalkeeper because he commands confidence at the back. If anybody is confused, they should ask Messi during the 2010 and 2014 World Cup. Samuel Peter from PH.
Messi eventually still scored. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You remember where you're calling from?
Richard from Rumudera.
Go ahead.
I think I want to digress a bit. So many persons did not watch the two goalkeepers which we picked as the best two, Enyama and Peter Rufai.
Okay.
Some of us only watch Enyama, so we attempt to believe that Enyama is the best.
So who did you watch? Who did you watch?
I watch only Enyama.
You watch only Enyama. Okay.
Yeah, so I can tell you that it's Enyama, but I may be wrong because I didn't watch.
All right. Of course, it's based on your opinion. Thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon.
Victor.
Lawson, welcome.
Oh, no. Those that did not watch Peter
Rufai.
Yes, cannot make it better. They cannot judge properly. A lot of them that are calling it was Vincent Enyama they saw. Peter Rufai, my brother, nothing compared. If you watch that guy, the taste, the confidence, the charisma. You know, at the time, I was even cutting my head the way Rufai hair was. That guy is Nigeria's best.
Okay.
Don't even compare it to Vincent Enyama. They don't even come close.
Thank you so much, Lawson, for your takes on the show. Wisdom, do we go back to the text message portal?
Okay, this one says, good day, everyone. I would choose Enyama simply because other ones, I did not watch them. Kingsley from Omuma. Good day, SARS. The best goalkeeper Nigeria has ever produced is Vincent. That's coming in from Gary, from texting in from Rukboku. So says Vincent Enyama all the way. Etu from Rumaholu.
Well, let's just take some few more calls before we go talk a little about the Super Eagles head coach Kenneth Rowe. Today's Sports Live, welcome to the show.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is Francis calling you from Oyibo.
Francis, let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. If you should ask me, I think the best keeper for me is Peter Rufai. The keeper Peter Rufai.
Why is that?
He achieved. Yeah, he helped us to achieve a lot of. At least, if you watch 1994, even from the Tunisia 94 to down to the USA 94, Peter Rufai was outstanding, and he made sure he did everything best for Nigeria to make sure we win some of those trophies. Yeah, he's the best keeper for me.
Thank you so much for your take on the show. Let's hear from this caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Victor, good afternoon.
Eto, welcome. Hello?
Vincent, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Eto from Maolu.
Welcome, Eto.
Vincent does not have comparison. I heard about Peter Rufai, but it was 1 season and 2 season keeper. But Vincent was from beginning to the finishing. He have no comparison.
Okay.
Nobody should compare them.
Thank you so much, Eto. Hello, good afternoon.
Well,
Your name, where you're calling us from?
yeah, my name is Michael Mena, aka NC2, Ashanaka from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
The truth is that you cannot compare for a goalkeeper keeping. Yuma is always, he still remain the best goalkeeper Nigeria ever produced. There's, in terms of coaching facility, Gonaro is using Jose Mourinho pattern to coach Super Eagles.
Okay.
Which is not.
Thank you so much. I've never heard that before. We don't have to say Well, let's go talk about Gennaro Raw, where, of course, in an interview with ESPN, Raw has spoken about, you want to say, the reason why he's not calling or selecting Nigeria-based players in the national team. I quote him. He says, "We cannot find all the all-time players in the local leagues who are better than the other ones. The criterion for us, the first criteria, is the quality of the players. Everybody knows, not only Nigeria, that the best players are in Europe or somewhere else in professional leagues. That is the fact." Wisdom. Gennaro saying it as plain as it is, that the reason why he hardly selects home-based players is because they do not have the quality. Quoting him again, he says, "The criterion for us, the first criteria, is the quality of the players. Everybody knows, not only in Nigeria, that the best players are in Europe or somewhere else in professional leagues." That is the fact. First of all, he just threw a shade on the NPFL. He just told the NPFL that they should change their name to NFL. They are not professional in any way. But what do you make of this statement made by Gennaro?
Well, Victor, the truth is, if we actually sit down to analyze these things and tell ourselves the truth, you find out that what he said is spot on. The MPFL, we do not have quality. I think it would be safe to say that when our players approach that level where their talent begins to speak louder than words, they move to Europe. Once they score 10 goals, they move to Europe. So we don't retain the best talents. I talk more of quality. Quality is a very big word, and it's relative though, but you actually grow from having potential and talent to being a quality player. And that's where most of our players find it difficult, even when they get to Europe these days, because the climate, the style of play, the pattern is actually different. Football is football, yes, but it has grown to just more than kicking the balls around. So Gennaro has a point. But be that as it may, is it enough to forget the players in the MPFL? No. Because from this same MPFL, in the days of Sunday, people were running. Ahmed Musa won the top scorer in one season. He was out there moved over to Netherlands for VV Venlo. So it's not the first time in Nigeria's history where our players are moved. Once they get to that level, they'll move out. The players we have in the Super Eagles, Victor, the 22 players he normally invites, are they all quality?
Exactly what I was about to ask. If you were Coach Gennaro, can you name a particular player that you think, a particular player in the MPFL that you think can bench one of the players in his current squad? You look at the last squad that he dished out, that was to serve the qualifiers, but then that match we didn't eventually play that match. But who would you bench for an MPFL player?
Victor, I would also ask a question, maybe a rhetoric before I answer. If you looked at Sunday Mba before the 2013 Nations Cup, who would Sunday Mba bench in Stephen Keshi's main team? The truth is nobody. Ejiko Ozweyi, who would he have benched in the team? If maybe we're judging Victor Moses this side, Ahmed Musa this part, the players coming from the wings, who would Ozweyi have benched? But Zoe came in, played from the left at times, and did really well. Sunday Mba came in from the middle at times. Fantastic display he had and he was our super sub most of the time, and it actually worked for us. The game where they tried to start the young man, he didn't do too well. But in the super sub thing, he was really, really amazing and a very good addition for the team. So I think if you don't test these players, you cannot know. You will not be able to sit here and say what Iko when he was in the team.
Should the criteria be selecting from home-based players or the quality that these players have to offer?
this is what it is. You are ranked most times against the opponents you've played. You can say the MPFL players do not have exposure, but I can call names for you that left this MPFL in the past 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years that have gone on to establish themselves in Europe. Stephen Ode left this same MPFL, not in 1995, just a few years back. He was with MFM. When did MFM Football Club, when did they even enter the top flight? Talk more of his time with the team. He did well for the team. I think then we had the likes of Molatumbosu in that team and the others. He moved on from that team to Belgium. And as we speak now, he has played in the Champions League. Stephen Ode remains one of the hottest properties for his team. There was a time when he was scoring week in, week out. Then I think the exact season he moved over. He strode into the team, was their top scorer for that season, the club's top scorer. Time will fail me to go back to the likes of Ahmed Musa. Junior Lokosa left this team and is playing for Esperance. If we had a striker playing for Esperance, Victor, I can bet you that he would be favoured 10 times more than an MPFL striker. I think those are the things we should start looking at. I'll still not say that they have the exact exposure that Alex Iwobi has. But have you tested some of our players, the Stanley Dingbas of this world? Have you tested them in the same waters, giving them the same time, the same exposure that the rest of Iwobi and the others? We could go on and on about technicalities and the fact that they don't know as much as maybe these other guys who have been exposed. They've played in the Champions League, they've played in the FA Cup, they played against the who is who in football. But we saw our 1994 squad, the 1994 Nigerian team that won a group that had the likes of Argentina inside. We saw the caliber of players that were present in that team. Most of them were home-based. In 1990, 1980, in short, most of them were 99% of 100% of that team, rather, were home-based players in the 1980 Nations Cup. Shego Odegbami, Christian Chukwu, who just talked now in the show, the Emmanuel Okalas of this world, were all based here in Nigeria. What has happened? Has the human beings in Nigeria changed? Of course not. So I think everything boils down to exposure. And I'm not saying, nobody is saying that when you pick these players, you should just give them a stroll into your first 11.
All right.
That would be too much to ask. But we play some Liberia, we bring foreign players. Eritrea, Benin Republic, they've even grown. I've seen us play teams against teams that are ranked 200 in the world, and we still bring in foreign names to prosecute this game. It has become a disease. And if it is not actually curbed, I think it's going to be the end of the MPFL. Now, listen, there's nothing to celebrate for these players in the MPFL. They don't get money for winning the league. The only thing you can do to spur these players is to make them understand that whatever you do, Genotra says when he invites them, they move abroad. I like that. Keep inviting them, let them be moving abroad. There's no problem with that. If that is the way he defines it. But that would be one thing, that the joy that these players would derive. Let me know that if I'm playing, I might get a chance. I am not saying that you can't bring in Stanley Dingba and you throw him into your first 11. No, but you can actually give them a chance in training. You see what they can do, and when they prove it, don't just say because he's home based, because he's playing in the MPFL. Give the young man a chance. As I said, Sunday Mba, if Sunday Mba was just measured by can he stroll into the team, Sunday Mba would not have even made the Nations Cup team. Ejiko's way would not even be there, because if it's by strolling into the team, I don't think any of them, by statistics of what we always see in Europe, would have been able to bench anybody in the Super Eagles.
Well, let's get back to the phone line so we can hear more from you before we leave the studio. 0817 0000 951 and 0810 9510 951. Hello.
I got by Stanford.
Go ahead.
Please, can you verify the keeper of Zanaco FC? His name is Etienne Etim or Etim Etienne. Can you verify the keeper of Zanaco FC in Zambia? Yes, his name is Etienne.
Okay. All right, go. No problem. Just keep listening. We'll get to you shortly. Zanaco FC goalkeeper. Well, keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you hitting home stretcher. Before we leave the studio this afternoon, Wisdom, do we have some messages?
Of course.
Well, before we take them, let's hear from the scholar. Today's Sports Live.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Francis calling from Oyibo again.
Go ahead, Francis. Short and simple.
Yes, I want to tell us that the home-based players here. Okay, imagine when we go to Chan. What are the performances in Chan? You can see even when we go to Chan, we don't even to beat Benin here. It's comfortable for us to beat Benin. And you expect Inaroy to bring all these kind of players into the national team.
Not all this.
Okay. Even if you of them into the national team, then when he gets there, then he will be disgraced and he will say Inaroy doesn't know what he's doing. So for him to secure his job, he knows exactly what he's doing. So let him go on with the professional players for now until our league gets improved.
Thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon. Today's Sports Live. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sorry, we can barely hear you. Can you speak up?
My name is Nick calling from Relevant.
Sorry, we're struggling to hear you.
I said I'm Nick calling from Relevant.
All right, go ahead.
I want to comment on our local league. I think I really believe that the problem is our leaders, because
Sorry, I'm sorry, we can't hear you, and I don't think we're talking about the local league. Today's Sports Live.
Hello, good evening, good day, Emeka.
This is Victoria here. Go ahead. Your name, where you're calling us from?
I think if you talk about, I want to talk about goalkeepers for Nigeria so far. I think Ayama is the best. And for NPFL players, I think we have one person, the man who plays in Aqua United. I think he can play.
Who's that?
Capable to play for Super Eagles.
Is it Mfondudo?
No, the guy that played defense is the defender that always scores so many goals.
In the Freke F. Young?
Yeah, that guy can play in the Super Eagles.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your take on the show. Today's Sports Live.
Hello, Victor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Destiny.
Destiny, welcome.
Yeah, Obina, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Destiny.
You can bring into the Nigerian league to bench any Super Eagles player currently is Foreign Rashu. That is the only player you can bench in the Super Eagles currently right now.
Okay.
That the home-based player can bench. And then also Mikel Agu. Yes,
okay.
These two players are the kind of two players I know home-based player can bench in the Super Eagles. Then the rest of them, I don't think they have a chance.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What gang in the studio?
You know where you're calling from?
I just Pastor calling from Element.
Go ahead, Pastor. But can you just be audible?
There's something I want to understand. You see, this is Ahmad Phoenix. What that man did, and what that man has said, is absolutely correct. I'm number one fan of Genetro. But for this man to say, "Okay, come and work our league, come and see our players, and know where who you can draft into the team," it's not a bad.
All right.
It's not a bad thing.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor. Sorry, we'll have to let you go now, sir. Wisdom, we have some messages.
Okay, this one says, please, where is Peter Rufai from Steven TZ from Yenagua? As I said, he did start up a goalkeeping academy in Spain, comes into Nigeria 2 times. For me, Daniel Akpe is the goal stopper the best goalkeeper Nigeria have ever produced. Check out his confidence when he's in goal. First choice should be Daniel Akpe, please. Okay. Good everyone, can you see what is killing our players? Look at the Rivers United goalkeeper this season. For me, on what I'm seeing, he needs a call-up. This is Kingsley from Omuma. This one says, good afternoon, guys. I go with Vincent Eyema as the best goalkeeper ever in Nigeria because he has a lot of confidence. And for me, there is no comparison. As for me, Raw is totally right that our league is not professional. But the truth is that our league has good players. Got time from Iboiche. This one says, I totally agree with Mr. Ross' position. That is the truth and nothing but the truth. Please, where's Timmy? Okay, Timmy, he joins us at times. That's coming from Imo Joseph from Eneka. Greetings, the Nasarawa goalie is better than Francis Uzo from Imo. This one says, Victor, good afternoon. The MPFL players cannot fit into the Super Eagles squad. They cannot play in CAF competitions. Tony from Elimbu. This one says, Nigeria's best goalkeeper is record-making Vincent Eyema. CAF Champions League, bronze medalist AFCON 2002 World Cup shot stopper by David Beckham. 2000 World Cup first round best keeper, third best Africa player award, and 162 minutes clean sheet. If not Eyema, tell me who beats this record, even in Africa. My dear, these achievements are not flukes from Big Ben in Eliozu. This one says, Nigerian league, is like choosing. So let us allow Raw to do his job. Saint Chris from PH. Eyema remains the best keeper. Please, no room for arguments. Raw should give Afeluhai a chance to prove himself. Afeluhai presently High is better than all the keepers in the Super Eagles. Raw is simply clueless for saying we don't have quality in the league. Who is Sunday Mba before the AFCON, or who was Sunday Mba before the AFCON? That man has come, I beg. Lucky from Aba. This one says we should stop blaming Raw. Let's try to keep our best players in the league so that our national coaches will not go to look for them in others. We need best legs. Somewhere from PH. This one says, I go with the coach. That is the fact. No professionalism, no call wisdom. Name one. What was he saying? Okay, no professionalism, no call.
Go ahead.
Okay, wisdom. One MPFL player you pick ahead of those ones that are in the current Super Eagles team. This one says local players don't need to be the best. It's the ability of the coach to blend them, blend them together and give quality results. Is that too much to ask? Sunshine from Oyibo. This one says, please, I need to start up. Okay. I'm sure that's not for us.
Well, Wisdom, catch your breath while you go to the WhatsApp portal. Last caller of the show. Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, Victor, this is Lawson.
Lawson, welcome back.
Seriously, we are not saying that don't use the foreign base. Just like one of the text messages here. Blend them in some games like Seychelles. For Christ's sake, blend them. Get some of them. Get some of the foreign base. Blend them together. Let them play.
Okay.
That is too late. And then people will be okay when you come out rightly and say, "Don't go. You are not taking anybody."
All
I
right.
think get a trust.
Thank you so much, Lawson. Wisdom, just a few messages.
Okay, let me see the ones I can pick from the WhatsApp portal. Peter Rufai is the best goalkeeper in Nigeria. Austin from Port Harcourt. This one says, okay. Hi, my best goalkeeper is Peter Rufai. There is confidence in his days. There were confidence in goal, which he replicated in 1994, both in Nations Cup and World Cup. Is followed by Emma. That's Ben from PH.
Well, sorry, we cannot take any more calls. The phone line's still buzzing. Text messages still coming in. But this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of Today's Sports Live. Of course, do join us for the marathon edition of the show from 1 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. From 1 to 4 o'clock, we'll talk everything European football, and from 4 to 6, we'll talk Nigerian football. Maybe we just might bring this up again. But then I did the show with Wisdom Mobina. My name is Victor Oriahi, urging you to stay safe, stay home if possible. But make sure you stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Have a good Friday.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon, and here's the news update at 4 on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation says it has successfully restored service on the government integrated financial management information system platform. The platform is an information technology-based system for budget management and accounting meant to improve public expenditure management processes. The OAGF, in a statement, said the shutdown of the GIF-MIS platform was caused by the fire that broke out on the 4th floor of the Treasury House on Wednesday. The fire had affected the outdoor panel of the cooling system of the server, and as a result, the server automatically shut itself down, according to the Accountant General of the Federation, Idris Ahmed. Service has been restored and payments can be made and received through GIFMIS platform. Three COVID-19 patients have been discharged after recovery from the isolation center in Ibadan, or your capital. The patients were released to their families after testing negative twice to confirm that they have been cured of the virus. This brings the number of discharged cases in Oyo State to 5, leaving 6 as active cases. Governor Seyi Makinde made the disclosure while giving an update on the fight against the virus in the state. However, the governor reiterated the ban on social gathering of more than 10 people in the state, while noting that the curfew earlier imposed on the state is still in place. The paramount ruler of Alu Clan in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, His Royal Majesty Eze Chima Okpara Wokokpo, his council of traditional rulers have expressed readiness to ensure that all precautionary measures to curb the spread of coronavirus are strictly adhered to in the clan. The Alu traditional rulers and chief assured of their commitment in ensuring the availability of agricultural produce in line with the palliative measures put in place by the Rivers State government. The secretary to the palace of the Inyewe Ali Alu clan, thank God Abraham, who read the message on behalf of the traditional rulers and chiefs, commended Governor Nyesom Wike on the steps taken so far to fight against the spread of COVID-19 in the state.
On behalf of His Royal Majesty, Eze Chima S. Okpara Wokokpo, Nyenwali Alo Clan, in the Ikwere local government area, with the Alo Council of Traditional Rulers, Ohonumpu, and chiefs, you on your pragmatic steps taken to curb the spread of the coronavirus in the state, and your untiring effort to raise some palliative measures to cushion the effect on Rivers people. I and my council will ensure that the government precautionary narratives to control the spread of the virus as really adhered to in the clan. I will also ensure that agricultural produce are made available to the people in line with the collective measures put in place by your governments. We also commend you on the execution of 3 flyovers in the state, which will enhance the beauty and economic status of the state, as your administration has tackled insecurity across the nooks and crannies of the state.
On the foreign scene, the United States have expelled more than 6,300 undocumented migrants on its Mexico border using emergency powers to curb coronavirus spread. The 21 March public health measure lets officials override immigration laws, expediting removal processes. Critics say the order is being used as an extension of strict immigration policies. Meanwhile, the number of illegal border crossing has fallen amid travel restrictions across the region. The emergency public health order issued by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention bans the entry of foreigners considered to pose a serious danger to the spread of communicable disease. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield said the measure, initially in place for 30 days, was necessary to limit the spread of the disease in crowded places such as border patrol stations or ports of entry. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget to take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. Good afternoon once again. I am Wealth Wilson. Thank you for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming back.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Have you heard that coronavirus has been confirmed in Nigeria?
My brother, don't panic. The Federal Ministry of Health and Nigeria Center for Disease Control have advised that everyone should do the following to stay safe.
Tell me.
Wash your hands regularly with soap under running water. Use hand sanitizer. Cover mouth with bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose the used tissue and wash your hands immediately. Avoid touching eyes, nose, mouth with unwashed hands. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces such as door locks, tables, and chairs.
You don't mean it.
Avoid close contact with sick persons or anybody coughing or sneezing.
Please, Mary, what are the symptoms of coronavirus?
Any person infected with coronavirus can have fever, cough, difficulty in breathing, and shortness of breath.
Don't panic. Coronavirus is preventable. If you have traveled to any country with reported local or community transmission, stay indoors and away from people for 14 days. If you develop any of the symptoms mentioned above, call the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC toll-free line 0800-97000010. Share information about coronavirus only from verified sources like the Federal Ministry of Health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization WHO. This message is from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC, the Federal Ministry of Health, and partners.
It all begins with breaking news.
Now make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play, undercurrents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore. As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody.
The platform on radio serves all the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
All stands, greet.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. You're welcome to Jagbajantis High School. My name is Sound Sultan, your new mathematics teacher. By the way, do you understand Pidgin English? Yes, sir. Okay, now what we go use henceforth? Okay, carry your paper. Them for my class. People of this world, them plenty. The sins of this people, many, so many. Many times plenty, multiplier. Many times plenty, multiplier. Multiply am the answer you get now waiting, they make poor man they cry. The answer you get now waiting, they make rich man they mess and leaders they lie. The answer you get now waiting, they make young boys and girls join party gang. Answer you get now waiting, they make innocent man rot inside the jail. Get it, and then agree to grant and bail. Get it, oh. Everybody, oh yeah, oh, join Jagbajantis, make we solve mathematics. We did our continent, so you both say about mass, we go use take solve mathematics. So follow Jagbajantis. So ya carry by be for brotherhood. Love your neighbor as yourself, oh for objectivity. Be objective, genuinely. D for democracy. Military. Now M for modification. Of our behavior, let's down to the same behavior. A accountability. If you've been a job, I beg you take them easy. S for solidarity. United and divided. Oh my shell. We enter new millennium. Nigerians like 120 million. One population of 6 billion. 6 billion. Divided one by 120 million altogether. Oh yeah. Altogether. The answer you get now waiting, they make people they waiting, they make people want travel. By hook or by crook. The answer you get now waiting, they make people they sleep for embassy, for visa. Answer you get now waiting, they make people they sell them property for ticket. Get it, get it. Then they travel, see, get it.
Join Jabbajantis, solve mathematics.
We did our continent. So,
Oyibo say, about mass,
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jabbajantis.
So ya carry Baero, be for brotherhood.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, for objectivity.
Be objective, gentlemen, ladies.
Be for democracy.
No matter how far it is, the better military.
And for modification
of our behaviors onto the savior.
A accountability.
If you been a chop money, I beg you take them easy.
S for solidarity.
United we stand and divided. Oh my shell.
You just the HSCity.
Shut it down.
And there's the VG City.
Shut it down.
Right go level for HSCity.
HSCity.
The rich man corner be VG City.
VG City.
You try add AJ and VG City all together. Oh yeah,
all together.
The answer you get now waiting they make rich man oppress and then suppress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man depress. But then aggress. The answer you get now waiting they make poor man they try to keep up with the Joneses. Answer you get now waiting they make poor man begin they try to prove a limit. Get it, get it. Never get money then they finish. Get it, get it. Oh, hey, everybody, oh yeah,
join Jabbajantis, solve mathematics.
We did our continent. So,
Oyibo say the bottomless,
we go use take
solve mathematics. So follow Jabbajantis.
So ya carry
situation in this nation, disposition, our condition, unexplainable pain in our hearts, not to mention brothers killing brothers, full of pain, salvation, resolutions are made, but always made with lack of vision. Imperfection is the order as we keep seeking solutions. Only God can solve this mathematical equation.
Thanks for your contribution. Now, any more questions?
It all begins with breaking news.
Now, make no mistake, this is a difficult mission, and it will remain difficult for some time.
Then it keeps trending. Events, issues, personalities, all struggling to gain attention. But in the race for deadlines, the intrigues, power play on the currents are often missed or underreported.
Insecurity here is basically a product of poverty.
But not anymore.
As the platform on radio steps in to fill the missing links on events, issues, and personalities in the news.
I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah!
The platform on radio serves only the hottest topics and trending issues. Only on Today 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Get on the platform on radio and be served.
With the dawn of the global pandemic, coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, we have been advised to self-isolate and observe social distancing rules. We at Today 95.1 FM want to tell you that while you self-isolate, it is important that you take this time out to get a skill, improve on your old and existing skills, read a book, listen to educational tapes, work out if you need to, bond with your family. Don't just spread fear and panic, self-isolate and grow. Make this time count for you. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM. The voice of the people. A beautiful, beautiful evening to everybody listening. Time check. It is 17 minutes past 4 o'clock, and I officially welcome you to another edition of Platform on Radio on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. I am Wealth Wilson, and I shall be giving you insights into some of the news reports making the rounds today. Now, for those people who do not know, the Platform on Radio is a program where we come together, you and I, we come together, we talk about trending issues, and we get correspondent reports. So our correspondents are out there sourcing these reports from the field, and on this program, we take their reports and have them give us more details, and perhaps you get to hear what is not entirely in the news. So without much ado, let's dive straight into what we have on the menu today. On the menu, we have South APC knocks Governor Nyesom Wike over measures taken to fight COVID-19 in Rivers State. NCDC confirms rise in cases of Lassa fever in Nigeria to 963. Because of time, let's quickly jump into what we have, right? APC and the Rivers State government. The All Progressive Congress has advised the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike not to take actions in the fight against COVID-19 that would have negative impact on residents of the state. The South Zonal Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, David Okumba, who was reacting to some of the latest developments in the state since the first case of the virus. And then he went on to also talk about the governor's allegation against the federal government and the arrest of 2 pilots by the state government. Okumba described the governor's demand or his position from the federal government on the 10 billion naira grant to Lagos State by the federal government as ridiculous. He also encouraged Rivers people to support federal government in the fight against COVID-19 through the guidelines by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Let's listen to him.
Wike's intent to create civil unrest in the state by inciting the good people of Rivers State against the federal government in the false alarm he raised over the unrestricted influx of foreign nationals into the state is an abuse of his membership of the National Council of States. The governor's frequent recourse to recant on his public utterances, most recent being his newest position on unilateral exclusion of Rivers State from beneficiary states of the federal government's COVID-19 intervention scheme, is not only a sign of incompetence and an affront to the sensibilities of Rivers people, but a display of hollowness that is characteristic of most of the decisions taken by this government in the last 5 years.
Well, still reacting to the closure of markets, appointment of a PDP chairman as the chairman of Palliative Committee, the APC Zonal Secretary asked that the government be transparent in distribution of the palliatives. Let's listen.
Governor Nyesom Wike's approach, without putting in place critical palliative measures like provision of regulated makeshift markets, distribution of precautionary kits, etc., to guarantee sustenance and safety of lives during this lockdown, is to say the least, digging a pit to fill another. Wike 5 hours delay daily temporary reopening of markets for 2 days was a complete demonstration of administrative insensitivity, as traders had no time to restock their goods, thereby retailing whatever they had to consumers at Shylock prices. This is also a complete rape on the idea of social distancing, as the populace were stampeded into distress purchases to beat the deadline. Governor Nyesom Wike's approach, without putting in place critical palliative measures like provision of regulated makeshift markets, distribution of precautionary kits, etc., to guarantee sustenance and safety of lives during this lockdown, is to say the least, digging a pit to fill another. Wike 5 hours delay daily temporary reopening of markets for 2 days was a complete demonstration of administrative insensitivity, as traders had no time to restock their goods, thereby retailing whatever they had to consumers at Shylock prices. This is also a complete rape on the idea of social distancing, as the populace were stampeded into distressed purchases to beat the deadline.
I had to play that particular one again so that we listen to him. I mean, the people had cried. They had cried at the time of the lockdown that the government should at least open the markets for them. And the government did. And now we're still not happy with that. And then talking about the palliative, committee set, as, mentioned by the APC zonal secretary, I beg your pardon, he said that they were not pleased with the PDP chairman as the chairman of palliative committee. And today on today's hustle, if you remember, we're talking about how they have already kick-started distribution of palliatives to, I think it was Obiakwa local government area. So now what we're going to talk about is looking at everything happening in Rivers State with regards to the lockdown, COVID-19, palliatives, the demand by Governor Nyesom Wike for a grant from the federal government as they have done to Lagos State. Looking at all of this, do you think that we are over-politicizing the whole matter? Do you think that there is some sort of underlying political tone to all of this? I mean, in the fight against COVID-19 in Rivers State, do you see an over-politicizing going on? 0817-0000951 or 0810-951-0951. We will be getting your opinion as soon as the calls come in. And don't forget that you can be sending in your text messages and WhatsApp messages quickly to the number 0701-9339-962. Let's get your calls. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Samusi Chima. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go on, Chima.
Yes, spokesperson of the APC South, I think it's right. In the sense of making the chairman of PDP as the head of the palliative committee or whatever.
Okay, but apart from your grievances that he's a PDP chairman, do you feel like he's not doing a good job? I mean, seeing that they've already started the distribution of this palliatives.
There must be a preference. You understand? There must be a preference to the collective interest on how that should be distributed.
So far, have you had any reports that some local government areas or some persons, some words were neglected because they are APC or because they are from any other political party so far?
I have never seen anything in my own word. I'm yet to see anything. Even the ones I've seen so far.
They just started distribution.
It's just a packet of Indomie. Listen, wait, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You would have appointed a different, not even any party chairman at all. I mean, we have a religious organization and every other the media organization. They would have had this team, not party chairman. There must be a preference. There must be a compromise. So the collective interest on how that should be distributed. So I think the APC spokesperson is right.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Chima. Let's listen to the next person. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, this is Pastor.
All right, you're welcome, Pastor Isaiah George. Quickly now.
My sister, you see, what we have here in Rivers State is a total incompetence being expressed by the Secretary of the State. I think he has said it all. My sister, the experience coming from the state government, my sister, looking at the past leaders who have led this government and governance, I think this is an amateur government. You understand?
This is what?
An amateur government.
You see, that's where the problem is. You're not giving me your reasons and you're just calling names and all of that. See, the thing is, no, hold on. I have to clear you so that no other person calls in and does the same thing, all right? Go straight to your point and give me your facts.
Yes, the fact is that, my sister, 5 hours, what will you buy? Now, you are talking about social distance. In these 5 hours, are you not telling me it's not like when you have some kind of unnecessary
but Mr. Isaiah, Pastor Isaiah George, now in that 5 hours, as you've said, without planning, did you not also notice that a lot of people were even thankful that it happened?
My thankful for what? You are not, the people are not supposed, you have the power authority over the people. You don't, the people do not decide for you. You are the one to tell the people that within 5 hours, within that 5 hours, 2 seconds alone, somebody can contact us that disease. And we are talking about social distance, and you came and allow people to gather for 5 hours. And what will they buy? And what will they sell within 5 hours? That is what the secretary is saying. In 5 hours, even to bring your market to the to your market item to the market is a problem. How much more coming to say? Now going to talk about the property the food that are shared in the state, and you went and gave the leadership a party man instead of using civil servants to do that, who are a neutral body. You use a party. Now as I speak to you, all those people that are being shared between the ward and the PDP members, nobody, where they started, nobody is having no other person but only the PDP people. Nobody, other party members are not begging them, but you want to be transparent. You want to tell the people that you are transparent. I think civil servants who are a neutral body are supposed to be the people to share this item.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor Saya.
What we have in the state here is a complete government.
Okay, thank you very much. That's your opinion. 95.1 FM. Okay, lost that one. Do well to call me back. The phone lines are still very much open. 0817 0000951 or 0810 9510 951. Don't forget the text messages should be coming in as well. Text WhatsApp messages also to the same number 0701 9339 962. I'll be reading the messages I have here, but then let me get this call. 95.1 FM.
Yes, Dimpa from Rundele.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes, this thing, the governor is right. I don't see why the people always bring politics in everything that the man does. And I know that that man has a lot of people who advise him according to the constitution. So the people, whatever is coming up based on the minds of the people. I don't know why these people should be calling themselves name and what they call themselves, and they cannot come and give a better listing. I don't want to call somebody, because some persons are not saying what is right in the listing. And this is governor, which they can never.
Are you still there?
Because they can never be governor in their life. Everything they bring, everything become politics. If we're talking about politics, why is it that the federal government has failed to give us the 10 billion that they get to the Lagos State?
Did the federal government come out outrightly to say that they won't give Rivers State any funds?
Dude, they gave. If they say they have, why did the South part of the FPC came and talking about why is it ridiculous it is? Is it talking about that he is the only one that knows something?
All right, thank you very much. Easy does it, Dimpa. Thank you.
Very careful.
All right, thank you very much. They will be very careful. Thank you very much. But then again, the federal government hasn't said that they won't be giving Rivers State or any other state funds to support them during the fight for COVID-19. All right, 95.1 FM. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, you're welcome. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Celia by name, calling from Rumeme Kingdom.
All right, go on then.
Yeah, the APC system complaining that that some wicked choose their PDP came and share the items. People said that it's not like. I want to ask you one question. The 5 trillion naira that federal government was sharing, who is sharing the money? Is it other people?
What did you say? What did you say? Hold on.
I said the 5,000 naira that federal government was sharing. Who is the people after of sharing the money? Is it ordinary citizens or is APC members?
Well, the people in charge of sharing the money, right, are people from the finance ministry and from the ministry of what they call this ministry now, social orientation, something for ameliorating the society. I'm trying to remember the ministry. I'll get back to you. But then the federal government made sure that everybody was incorporated.
Yeah, now I want to ask, how many people are gotten this money? How many states are also gotten this money?
Well, they are people who have gotten people under a payroll scheme, right? They are the ones that have been able to get the money. And from what we talked about on today's hustle, I think that was 2 days ago, we said over 1 million households have been able to receive these funds.
Then over 1 million households. How are we sure of people that are getting this money? And what transparent that the federal government are due to show us these are the people who have gotten this money, and these are the people we are looking up to.
And they've told us the people who have gotten the money, the people under the payroll, the scheme. What's the scheme that Bolu talked about again? I'll get the name for you again. But the people under that scheme have been able to receive those funds. I think 1 million households.
Okay, so I also believe one thing, that when it comes to River State, everything has been politicized, because I said the open market for 5 hours. I believe that Lagos State have more cases than Port Harcourt. Then now, there was a time that Lagos State opened from 10 to 2 o'clock. Is it not 5 hours? So what are they complaining about now? Lagos State only have just 2 cases. One have been discharged. Now, Lagos State that have almost 100 and something cases, they open from 10 to 2 o'clock. 5 hours. Lagos State open from 6 to 12 o'clock. 5 hours. But people are still complaining in Lagos State that Governor Wike should have opened the market, or she have opened the market at all at all. So as just a policy that the APC is just trying to grab our attention, so that we forget about that the right that federal government has sent for them to start for the certificate, and this price that they say to start for the certificate, there's a lot of states that will not receive it, and even nobody will ask questions, even the APC will not ask questions.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Livingstone, calling from Ahoda.
All right, go on, Livingstone.
The truth is that no man can satisfy everybody. But for me, I'm not a politician, neither do I belong to any party. But I see what the governor, every step of the governor have been commendable for me. I know that if not the step of the governor, by now River State would have been like one of those affected states adversely. So the issue of the market, if you ask me, yes, he closed down market, and at a point he could not give the whole day because the risk is still there. He gets 5 hours. So everybody, you are not going to buy the whole market. Everybody must not spend 3 hours in the market. So you buy the much you can buy and you go. That was commendable. We were not seeing market to buy. And we had 5 hours in a day to buy and go. It was commendable. What I am saying from the South Secretary of the APC, I think is having a lot of political undertones. And they are just saying that because they are on the opposite side of it. As far as I'm concerned, the governor should be encouraged. Where we cannot encourage him, no problem. Propaganda and criticism, they are all part of democracy.
Politics. No thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. All right, earlier this month, we saw that 2.6 million poor Nigerians are to benefit from the federal government's cash transfer intervention. And the people who were part of this particular committee would be the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management. And then the Presidential Task Force, we're briefing the president on how many vulnerable Nigerians have been identified. And out of the 2.6 million, Farouk, which is the head of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, said that 5,982 households in Nasarawa, 8,271 households in Katsina State, 6,732 households in Anambra were identified respectively. The list goes on. I won't be able to call all the states and the numbers of poor people that they were, vulnerable people that they were able to achieve. But then again, this is to clarify the doubt of the last caller, the second to last caller. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Selaway. Other states, they don't have vulnerable poor people there.
They have vulnerable people all over the state, all over the country.
Yeah, they could have circulated this money.
So they will. As I said, the states I called, the states I called, right? I said I wouldn't be able to call all the states and the figures that they were able to identify. But then every state is being captured in this particular program.
Okay, they capture them. Is it one they are sharing hand by hand in Abuja there? Is it the cash they are sharing by hand? If you capture somebody, you cannot pay this money through bank. And you have their data.
Of course.
Why? You have their data, you capture them, and you don't tell them to open an account What does it take to go to
Look, for this particular money, right? The communities were engaged, right? The community opinion leaders, religious leaders were consulted, and then they were able to categorize the poor and vulnerable in each society, right? That's how they came up with this, and that's how the monies and palliatives will be evenly distributed to these people.
Okay, thank you for your clarification.
All right, thank you very much.
Let me tell you about the week. You see, that market is open for people to, buy 2 days. It's commendable. People have been shouting, hungry, don't kill them all. They have money, they cannot buy. Now the man has open market, a palliative measure. Go and stock so that Easter he will not just stay hungry. Now people are criticizing him. The man will continue to do the good best for the state. And anybody will no like him, make him wait. 2023 is coming. If you are good enough, you come out to vote for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We'll take the last call for this particular topic, and then we move to the next one. 95.1 FM. You're welcome.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes. What's your name and where you're calling from?
This is the radio councillor, Mr. Progress Obene. Let me quickly react to the issue that has to do with sharing of money by the federal government, the palliative, and we just oppose it to that of River State.
No, if you're going to react to that, you have to stay in line with the request from the governor of the state, asking that he also wants funds.
It's okay. All of them, I'll speak in all those. Now, let me quickly say that those ones, the 5,000 percent, I expected that 5,000. I expected that you give us the data of River State.
As I said, we are not talking about that. You're supposed to tell me the issue going on in River State with the fight against COVID-19. Do you think that there is some underlying politics in what is going on?
No politics. Everything Governor Wike is doing for the good and for the growth and the protection of life of River people. That is what I think.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Quickly, we would go back to what we have on the menu for today. Moving on, we have here that the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has announced that the total number of confirmed Lassa fever cases has increased to 963 in 2020. The agency said 12 new cases were recorded between March 30 and April 5, 2020. The NCDC said this in its 2020 Week 14 report made available on its website. It also said 188 deaths have been reported in the country this year. Now, this is what we're talking about. Do you think the federal government is paying less attention to other infectious diseases while focusing on COVID-19? Now, since the break of this pandemic, since we started having the issue of COVID-19, we've been talking about how the federal government have been able to, evenly distribute attention to various occurrences here in the country. First of all, we talked about insecurity with COVID-19. Would the federal government be able to also pay attention to insecurity in the country? And now we are having a report from the NCDC on the issue of Lassa fever, which apparently has been in the country, I think, before we had the first case of the COVID-19 pandemic. So do you think that the federal government is paying less attention to other diseases while we focus on COVID-19? 95.1 FM.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is George, calling from Rome.
All right, go on, George.
For me, I really want to say that the federal government is on the lip service over the various DTC we have in Nigeria. Hello?
I can barely make out what you're saying, so please speak up loudly.
I say the federal government is playing lip service over the various diseases we have in River State. This coronavirus that is happening. One, we have tuberculosis, and we have even malaria in Nigeria here. Why is it that everything is centered on coronavirus? Understand? And as I'm talking to you, we have several diseases that is happening within our state now, within our country now, and the federal government is not doing the needful. Is it because of coronavirus started from China? But we have some viruses that we really know as in African, as in Nigeria, as even in River State. There's so many viruses and that is so ravaging our test, like malaria. Can African take over malaria? Can Nigerians take over malaria? It's impossible. Now they are now trying to say how serious they are in fighting coronavirus. If at all they put more effort to fight other diseases, I think it can be reduced to the DRS minimum.
All right. Thank you very much, too. I'll quickly take the text messages we have here. This one says, APC kicking the measures taken by Governor Wike is a welcome development for me. It is a sign of incompetence from the governor. Governor Wike should learn more about social distancing. His policies are misleading. George. You still go on to say that, okay, you sent the same message twice. This one says, from the opposition party called APC, what did you think will come out from them? The APC zonal secretary is talking out of frustration, really. Wobodo from Port Harcourt, thank you. As well, River State should please wake up and remove Governor Wike from office before he puts us all in danger. Because of 10 billion naira given to Lagos State, the man has lost every... No. Fine, I do think that if you're going to posit any idea at all, it has to be civil. Just make sure that what you're saying is not insulting, inciting, and just make your points. That's simple. All right, this one says, Miss Wells, it's completely wrong to involve the PDP chairman in distribution of the palliative. Sentiment will definitely come in. As for me, it is political. From Lightman. Thank you very much, Lightman. This one says, who should share the foods? Should it be an APC chairman that would sabotage the process to discredit the governor and the government? In some states, this is 4 hours of opening markets. Governor Wike allowing churches to hold service on Sunday has exposed fake pastors on radio. Mr. Law. I don't know. Okay, let's go on. This one says, dear presenter, the Rivers State opposition is simply an enemy of the states. They have not told Rivers people how many PDP people that the APC government appointed into the federal committee. They betrayed their people. They have... Okay, you know what? I can't make out what you're... I'm trying to read and then read out. It's quite tiring. This one says, people should not forget that the fight against coronavirus is beyond politics. All hands must be on deck. Now it's not the time to fold our hands and criticize the governor on what he did not do. Rather, we support him because he's trying in the fight against coronavirus. AZ from Port Harcourt. Thank you very much, AZ. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, this is George.
All right, go on, Pastor Isaiah George.
Now, let me tell you, my sister. We have so many antibody diseases.
Antibody diseases?
Yes.
Diseases that fight the antibody. Basically, they do fight the antibody.
The anti-people disease, and each of them came just as Corona came. There was a time malaria was like this. There was a time HIV. There was a time so many.
Okay, your point is there are lots of infectious diseases out there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, and most of them up to now there is no cure. We are just living with it. So now, for me, I will not say they are paying lip service to that Lassa.
No, not lip service. No, I didn't say lip service. I say that. Do you think that the federal government is, paying less attention to other infectious diseases while focusing on COVID-19?
No. See, let me tell you, it's like when you have a family of 5 and suddenly all of them are not sick, but maybe one of them is badly sick. You have to give more attention.
Every disease is injurious to human health, so.
I know, but the heat of Corona, the global heat, I don't think there was a time, even malaria, the history told us that it was not even to the level of Corona.
But do we have to pay more attention to it because it is global? I mean, Lassa fever kills a lot of people here in Nigeria. Malaria does same.
My sister, the last time I checked, I don't think they pay less attention to it. They are still what.
All right.
Those who are affected with it, I think in those states and other states. I think there was a time I heard that proper attentions were given to them. But you cannot say because that they are giving less attention to it.
All right, thank you very much.
The issue of Corona is very high.
Okay, thank
and
you.
I think
I get your point.
About everywhere. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Chris Obis. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, welcome, Chris. Finally picked your call.
Yeah. I know. I thought you were calculating attempt. Let me say something about this corona and the thing. Let me tell you something. Do you know that we have malaria in this country? You know, I was very sick yesterday. All my body was hot. I feel fever. So I went to pharmacy and bought a tablet. Today, look at me. I'm enjoying, eating well. So had it been now, maybe I called that COVID-19 number yesterday. They say that it's coronavirus that is worrying me.
It's not. They can't just tell you that it's coronavirus for crying out loud, Chris. That is not how it works. You can't just wake up and decide that there is incompetence everywhere.
No, see, Nigerian government should go around treat people malaria. It's malaria plus. This is malaria plus. Nothing like
but in defense,
don't have medicine.
In defense of the hold on, Chris. In defense of the government, the malaria you're talking about, there is medicine for it now.
Yes.
Now, the federal government is also keeping us up to date with what is happening with Lassa fever, isn't it? Which means that they also have their minds and eyes focused on these other infectious diseases, not only on COVID-19, if you really think about it.
Then this coronavirus now, COVID-19 that they are telling us, they say that the medicine is not yet out. Now, what are they using? Is it paracetamol for malaria they're using to treat the people with the coronavirus?
You see, the thing is, when you get the virus, right, and your immune system is strong enough to combat the virus so it doesn't damage your antibodies and render your body weak, then somehow you can be revived, right?
Yes.
So you see,
basically, another thing I want to know, why this thing is killing people outside country like ants? But in Nigeria, does it mean that we are too stubborn? Our own body are too stubborn?
Did you not also hear in the news that Nigerians have also been dying from COVID-19? I mean,
have anybody testified that he lost his family?
Oh my God, Chris! All right, Chris. I think I get your point. Thank you very much. Okay.
I understand what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Malaria.
Okay. Wow. 95. Oh, lost that one as well. Okay. I would just take a breather now. Hold on. The phone lines are still very much open. You can talk about everything. The two things we had on the menu today. First of all, we're asking if we are seeing a case of over-politicizing the COVID-19 in Rivers State. And then, based on the NCDC report on Lassa fever, I'm also asking you the question. Do you think that the federal government is not paying enough attention to other infectious diseases in the country simply because they're fighting COVID-19? 0817-0000951 or 0810-951-0951. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
I've got all the points you raised, but I have a concern.
Hold on. I'm getting back.
Okay. Let me go down.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Temple. I'm calling from Sugar.
All right, go on, Temple.
Yeah. In my area here, the thing the state River State government is distributing. I am only seeing the indigenous. Now, talking about River State.
You're only seeing the what? The what?
I've only seen the indigenous sharing the stuff. What is the arrangement for people that are not from River State but are resident in River State here?
That would be a talk for another day, right? For now, I just feel that the River State government is making sure that its indigenous is being catered for.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But until I find out if there are plans for non-indigenous, I'll let you know. All right, Temple?
Okay.
Well, fine. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM. Hello? All right. Do well to call me back there. 0817-0000951 or 0810-951-0951. I'll quickly just take the text messages we have here. This one says, I have the feeling that the governor is under pressure and so a bit confused. If the coronavirus pathogen going on recess coronavirus pathogen going on recess Friday and Sunday to resume on Monday, he should be consistent with his policies, not to give the impression it is all a hoax. Okay, Anthony in Akoda, thank you very much. This one says federal government should work in synergy with other tiers of government to handle all challenges because there are many and proximity is paramount. Okay. All right. I think in terms of handling COVID-19. All right. Okay. This one says, good evening. Before this COVID-19, the federal government had never taken any disease in Nigeria serious. They only wish to be involved in what they can benefit from. Our health means nothing to them because they travel abroad to get themselves treated. Mwachuku from LLM. Thank you very much, Mwachuku. This one says, cheesy, right? From Port Harcourt. I hope that's what you intended. Okay, your messages did not come in complete, all right? So please do well to send me another one. I just saw one line of your message and apparently I can't read it out because it's not making complete sense yet. So please, if you're listening, Chiji from Port Harcourt, do well to send me another text message. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Well, concerning the palliative measure from the River State government, like I've heard people are receiving it, even though, like some people say, maybe the indigent. But the fact that they are giving it, maybe bit by bit to go around. And the second part is people are saying whether it's PDP, but somebody must manage. The one at the federal level, the people managing the tax force, the palliative measure for the federal government sharing 5,000. I don't know APC people. So my own is, whoever is doing it, they should just do it effectively. Whether APC or PDP, you get what I'm saying? Then on the issue of the whether the federal government is paying more attention to coronavirus, I think yes. Because for other diseases, they can always run outside the country to get treated. For coronavirus, no way for them to run to. So, we've been having last service, fever for over the years in the country. I think it's a failure on the part of the scientists, the NCDC, and other people involved to get whether a cure, a treatment, a vaccine for it. The Oyo State government said they use black seed oil and honey to treat himself for coronavirus.
All right.
So why are we running up and down? They should look into things like that.
All right.
And
all right.
You know, there's a solution for coronavirus. People that have died from coronavirus, you cannot say it's coronavirus that killed them because these people had underlying sicknesses that could have killed them ordinarily, like cancer and diabetes and hypertension. So you cannot say those people that died actually, except they did an autopsy to find out what actually killed them. So to have said they died of coronavirus is wrong, but for the federal government.
All right.
That's what I think. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Chiji, I think your message just came in complete now, so I can take it. This one says, my grouse is on the arrest and detention of the pilots. What is the drama of the arrest all about? I work with one of the IOCs and their crews working out there to produce oil for Nigeria, which is where 90% of the country's funds come from. Won't they charge the crew? How would the crew be changed? Without helicopters, what purpose was that arrest meant to serve? It is really an embarrassment, as if people in government don't know how the oil business is run. Okay, thank you very much for that text message. We'll go to our WhatsApp portal quickly before we go back to the phone lines. This one says, hi, presenter. There is nothing Governor Wike will do. Opposition will not complain. Markets open for people to make purchase was now a bad thing. The sharing of palliatives is another mishap. The opposition never remember that federal government use APC members to share trader money, empower money, even the money for the poorest. Ben from PH. All right, let's go back to the phone lines now. 95.1 FM.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my name is Obin. I'm calling from Mahal.
All right, go on, Obina.
Yeah, I've listened to most of the people, the contributors, and even the issue at hand. But there's something I want to say. I said this yesterday during one of the programs, that this COVID-19 has exposed all our leaders, starting from the top.
Has done what? Has done what?
Exposed us.
Exposed, okay. How?
Yeah, exposed us. Now, just look at what is happening in River State, for instance. Look at the way the governor is handling the whole thing. You say one thing today, well, we change it. You know, Things is just doing as if nobody's coordinating anything. It's look as if it's a child. Now look at what people are saying. Because of the relaxation of the restriction, believe me, it's so much somebody called and said, oh, it's a malaria, there's no COVID-19. That's because of the way these things are being treated here. Because of the way the political class are taking the whole thing. Now, you know the reason why we have voted a lot of money into COVID-19? I think a lot of money have been voted into COVID-19 more than any other infectious disease in Nigeria. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. Go on.
Now, because it is an international virus, every international borders has been locked, so they cannot go anywhere to treat themselves. The only thing they need to do is to bring out the money so that they can also treat themselves. Had it been this virus is only in Nigeria, believe me, all these people will run away and go and treat themselves if they are infected overseas. This money will not come out.
So you're saying that the deliberate attention it's getting now is because there are no options for them?
Yes, they don't.
Okay.
Believe me, they would have left the country. They would have. Okay. But God pass man, sir. Anyhow, God be.
All right. Thank you very much. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes, hello. What's your name and where you're calling from?
This is Rick Malanto.
All right, go on.
You see, I have carefully listened to how the people are attacking the governor. I won't lie to you. The governor is doing a job.
The governor is doing what?
The governor is doing a good job.
All right. Why? How?
Until you sit on that, you won't know what you won't know. You see, there are terrible intel he gets that we don't know. He is protecting the lives of River State people. But you see, people who don't know, they keep on attacking him. Get there, and by the time you see what he's seeing, you understand why he's taking some decision. You get my point? Now he has opened market. He has been magnanimous enough to open the market because people have been crying about hunger. If he has not taken the steps he has taken so far, I tell you the gospel. This place, River State was flooded with COVID-19 patients. I'm telling you the gospel truth, and it will have been worse. So the governor is trying. People are saying no, leave politics apart. Keep politics apart. He says he's giving it to people. Look at the federal. How much were donated by well-meaning Nigerians?
All right, quickly, we have to wrap up. Okay, wrap up. Yeah.
So how has the federal government disbursed that money? I think we are hearing stories that because they mentioned that.
You know we're out of time, yeah. But I get your point. Thank you very much. All right, that's how we call it a day on the Platform on Radio. The Platform on Radio has been a production of our news department put together by Chinedu Iwona. We will be with you same time on Monday. Thank you for listening. I am Wealth Wilson.
Today's news, today's entertainment, every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Board Hardcore. News update.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Beats and Pieces on your premium talk and news radio. Today, 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. One Abubakar Omar is reported to have been remanded in prison by a magistrate court in Sokoto State for alleged abduction of a 3-year-old girl. The 53-year-old, who is facing a count charge of abduction, reportedly carried out the act at his residence. Omar was said to have lured the girl into his room with the intent of having carnal knowledge of her before he was caught by the victim's parents. A man from Niger, identified as Isa Idrissa, has been arrested for allegedly stabbing a man to death. Report says the suspect stabbed and killed one Suleiman and escaped to his country, Niger. Upon his arrest, reports said charms and different concussions were recovered from the suspect, who confessed to committing the crime out of anger. The police in Niger State have arrested one Garba over the alleged murder of one Mohammed. Garba allegedly carried out the act at Kokani village in New Busa area of the state. Reports say the suspect alongside his accomplice engaged Muhammad in a fight and killed him using a cutlass over accumulated unresolved grievances. The deceased reportedly bled to death as a result of the deep cuts the suspect had inflicted on him. In Ogun State, one Edith Gift has appeared before the magistrate court for alleged assault. The 25-year-old woman, who is facing a count charge of assault, was dragged to court for biting a man's ear. The police prosecutor told the court that the accused assaulted the complainant at her home when a fight broke out between them. In Ogun State, the police have arrested a teenager identified as Ayomide Joseph and a 20-year-old over alleged robbery. Reports say Joseph was captured alongside one Alajide Ajishomo at Mowe area of the state after they were accused of robbing two persons. Police reports said the suspect had disposed two siblings of their belonging at gunpoint. The arrest, however, followed after one of the victims lodged a complaint at the Mowe police station that they were attacked while returning from Lagos. In South Africa, a 36-year-old woman is reported to have been fatally stabbed by a debtor after she asked him to pay the money he owed her. The incident happened in Sebokeng Township, where the victim had gone to collect her money before she was stabbed severally with a sharp object. Investigation revealed that the unidentified woman on the said day left her home with her 14-year-old daughter to collect an undisclosed sum of money which she was owed but was stabbed in the process. Reports say the unidentified 40-year-old who allegedly stabbed the woman is expected to appear in court for murder by stabbing a woman in her upper body. And that concludes today's edition of Bits and Pieces as produced by Stella of the news department. Thanks for listening. Till next week, do have a lovely evening. I am Wealth Wilson, and we will be having a live program from Christ Embassy, so do stay with us, and at 7 you will be getting the world news from us. Thank you very much once again. Stay tuned.
About your kindness, oh God. Cause you are wonderful. You are wonderful to me. Yeah. You are good. You are God. You're a father and a friend. Lord, I promise to tell the world about your love and your goodness. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. God is gracious and He is kind. No matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening, He's good. He's good. He's altogether lovely. Altogether lovely. Bible says that He is light. He dwells in unapproachable light. There's no darkness in Him. And when you are born again, you come into that light. You come into that life. A life where there is no darkness. And now you're full of gratitude and thanks. Full of gratitude and thanks. Wherever you are right now, lift your hands and just worship Him and thank Him as we sing this wonderful song. Deaconess D. Doris will take the song. It's titled Omemma, and that means he that does good. The all-knowing God that always does good. He is gracious and he is kind. Enjoy this.
I know the God who never fails, the greatest God